Today I'm working on this carburetor. It's for an economy tractor of sorts. I believe it's probably a Power King. I don't remember off the top of my head. Belongs to my grandpa. He's having some issues with the tractor getting it running. So we figured first things first, it's easy to clean up the carb and see what happens. So I'm going to dig right into it. Trying something new this time. Instead of doing all the voiceovers and all the editing I normally do, I'm just going to try and do this live. See how it turns out. Looks like I need a thinner bit for the screw. There we go. I don't actually know much of anything specific about this carburetor, but we're gonna see what happens. Pretty basic principles on all of them. Shouldn't be too much different than anything else. There's some signs of something gross going on in there. Huh. It's actually really clean in there. I don't know what the crust is on here. It's a little interesting. This gasket, I don't know what's going on with that. It's very odd. Maybe almost looks like somebody put some sealer on here at one point, maybe? It's kind of strange. But, no, I don't think that's sealer. I think that's the gasket is just wrinkled over time. It's a very interesting gasket. Alright, next I'm going to take this float off. The pin's being a little stubborn coming out. It looks like it'll push it out. Yeah. Here's the float. That looks like the problem right there. Maybe. No. This gravity should still pull that down. I don't know. Normally, these needle valves that I see, they have a little wire like this that grabs on the tang on this float. Yeah, I don't see on here anywhere where it looks like one would be attached that broke off. So it might just be the design of this. Okay, so it looks like there's a jet in there. Try this. Yeah. It's looking pretty clean so far. I can see light through this jet just fine. That's not plugged up. This looks like we need a socket to get this out. I'm hoping I can even fit one in here. Yeah. Maybe a little wrench will do it. Not a lot of room to work there. Can't tell if that's turning or not. Yeah, I can't fit the socket around this casting here. And can't get a wrench in. Turn it. Alright, well, this isn't a jet. This is the seat for the needle valve. It's a fairly large diameter hole. I don't think this is plugged up, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it in. I'm going to take off this fuel fairing though. Oh, I don't know if that's going to come out. Okay, I broke this fuel inlet fitting loose off camera. Should be able to take it out now. Ooh, maybe not. Hold on. Okay, it's definitely broken loose. It's just very tight in there, so I have to struggle with it a little bit, but it should come out eventually. Oh, there it goes. Looks very clean in there as well. I have a feeling this carburetor is not the problem with the tractor. But I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner just to clean it up. We'll put it all back together nice and clean. And we can troubleshoot from there. I like to use regular dish soap in my ultrasonic cleaner because that's what I got on hand. It's got some degreasing properties. Some stuff may work better than this, but this is what I use. Okay, I'm going to start putting parts on here. I'm going to put all these jets on. That can go on, that's pretty dirty. Put this on. There's another jet. I'll throw this fuel fitting on for good measure. And then this main casting here. I'll make one more double check that I didn't leave any parts on. Looks like it's good. So I'm going to throw it in. Looks like I probably could have added some more water, but I'm just going to run a couple cycles. I always like to put it for the max length. Oops. And I always turn on this TC that warms the water. Seems like it works a little better that way. Okay, while this thing was running, I went ahead and upstairs and grabbed some more water. Let's see if I can find, there's the max fill line right there. So I'm going to dump it in, see if we can bring it up. That's just under the line now. That should be good enough. We've got a lot better part coverage now, especially on the main part of this carb over here. Alright, the first cycle's done. Let's see how this thing looks. Pretty decent on this side. Got, looks like a little bit of dirt and grease still under here. But overall, looking a lot better. You can see a big difference from side to side. So I'm going to stick it in the other way. Now we'll run it again. The second cycle just finished. Let's see how it's looking now. Actually, didn't do near as much on this side as on the other side. Looks like I might have to do some manual work to clean the rest of this. Okay, I got an old toothbrush here. I'm going to get cleaning. Okay, I scrubbed it clean, nice and clean on each side. I'm just going to run it for one more cycle in the ultrasonic cleaner now, once on each side, just to get any residual dirt from the scrubbing. First cycle on the first side's done. Just flip it over and run it again. Okay, the second cycle is done. I'm going to dry it off a little bit and we'll start reassembling. Here's the other parts. Okay, I'm going to start by putting this fuel fitting back in. Next I'm going to do this main jet here. And I'm going to do the float here and the needle valve. So the needle valve just goes down in here. And the float goes in there like this. And then this pin that holds that in place. Then I want to make sure that this float is roughly level with the casting of the carburetor when you hold it like this. You can sometimes find height settings for these. I like to just make sure it's level. If it needs to be adjusted, that little tang in there, you can bend it either way and it'll bring it up or down. Looks like I forgot to throw the bowl in the ultrasonic cleaner, so I'm just going to clean this up by hand real quick. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and throw the bowl back on. Oh, I might have to, looks like I can squeeze this gasket around the float. Here's the bowl. That's reinstalled. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is put all these jets back in, or adjustment screws rather. And to start off, I'm going to turn these in all the way till they stop. At least till it bottoms lightly. Okay, there's that one. I believe this one went in here. Nope. And here's the last one. That one's bottomed. Okay, the picture I found in the manual for the engine doesn't quite match this carb I have here, but I think we can get it figured out. So this one that goes through here, this is the idle adjustment, and looking at that butterfly valve there, I'm actually going to back this way off for a base setting, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. It's probably alright, maybe a little more the other way. Won't know until it's running. This one right here, this is the low idle fuel needle, and on this engine, which is a K321, says 1 1/8 turn from seated. So we're gonna go, there's half, there's 1, and there's about 1/8 right there. So where this differs is, it says the main fuel needle is here. We don't have that. And there are two different versions on here. There's low idle and main idle. One version is just a low idle. One version has the low idle and the main idle. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that even though there's no main fuel needle here, I'm going to say this is the main fuel needle, because if you look down through here, that needle is that long screw. It's attached to this that I just put in, and that lines up down here with this main jet that was underneath this cover that I put in. So I'm going to use the settings for that, even though it doesn't quite match the picture. And according to this manual here, it says 1 1/4 turn out for this. Here's a half, here's 1, here's 1/4. So with that, that's all I can do with this. As clean as it is on the inside, I kind of doubt that was the issue with the tractor, but won't know until I get it on.